We can start though. You want to get started?
Let's go.
Should I kick off with weapons since it's maybe the newest thing?
Absolutely.
All right. All right. So I'm going to be careful to not be spoilery. So this may actually be sort of a short review, but saw weapons today in the theater with my middle son, 16 years old. Um, the film's rated R, mostly for, violence and gore. There's one sex scene that's not too bad, but at the same time, when you're watching with your 16-year-old son, you're like, you know, uh, but otherwise that goes pretty quick. And but this is like it's like a closet Marvel movie. It's got our Silver Surfer as the lead. Benedict Wong is in
Might
it.
have recognized them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Benedict Wong. Alden Ehrenreich, who is now in Ironheart, and there's one more. And Thanos. Josh
Brolin.
Brolin. So like I mean, granted, at this point, I think everybody's been in a Marvel movie, so it's sort of a thing. But like four of them is pretty impressive.
You know, it's funny. Alden, I knew he looked familiar, but I was like, there's no way he's just in a random like Disney Plus show. But that's him. Good
Yeah.
for
Oh
him,
yeah.
man.
And to me, I thought it was a great performance for him because he wasn't his best characters to me aren't necessarily goofy or funny, but they are awkward. He actually does awkward really well, and he is in this. He's a cop in this one. Um, and he's just his life just kind of sucks. Like he's just kind of down, and so he plays that part really well. He really is good at just off, just a little off. And he is that guy in the beginning of Ironheart, and in Ironheart he plays um, Obadiah Stane's son. He plays Ezekiel Stane,
Yeah.
and yeah, he plays that part really well.
I love how we're both all about the libations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Coffee and water. I'm ready to go. Um, but yeah, so weapons. So if you watch the trailer, at least the first trailer, I only watched the first one yesterday with my kids to see if they wanted to go or not. And the first one definitely breaks it down for you. So if you watch the trailer, it opens up with this little kid's voice saying, oh, this is a true story, which it is not a true story, but in their world, it's a true story. And it explains it all. Basically, one night at 2:17 in the morning, an entire classroom full of kids wakes up from their beds, walks out of their house into the dark, and is not seen again. But the kids all wake up. They, on their own, walk out of their houses into the night and disappear. And the only people left behind basically in that classroom, the rest of the school is fine. It's this one single classroom. One boy is left behind, and the teacher is left behind. And so the rest of it is like this mystery of what happened and what's going on. And so we, I think in the very first like 20 minutes, you see them try and kind of get back to normal life. And so the parents are all upset. They want answers. Obviously, they're not getting answers. These kids left, and nobody knows why. They're blaming the teacher. The kid that was left behind is super quiet and introverted, and he's been questioned a lot, but he doesn't have any answers. And they can't figure out why. There's no rhyme or reason. She didn't say anything in class that anybody can prove or disprove. But Benedict Wong plays the principal of the school, and she comes back after they closed the school for like a month while everybody investigated everything and did everything they could. And so they have like a parent teacher night the night before they're going to reopen the school. She's there. All the parents are there. Josh Brolin's character is super pissed, and you see it in the trailer. He's like, "We want answers from her. She knows she has to know something." They all erupt on her, um, and so she tries to get up and defend herself. Nobody's buying what she's selling, and she effectively gets run out of this building. So the next day she goes to work, and they're like, "Yeah, you probably shouldn't come back just yet." They're like, "You're not fired, but like." everybody's just a little on edge, right? Even now. And so this is where the story for me in the middle is a little slow. I feel like this movie probably could have been 20 minutes shorter. There's a lot of setup in here, and it gives you, I think it's four different storylines or stories that they kind of bring together. Um, the first one being the main character whose name is Justine. That's our Julia Garner. And they tell her story for a little bit to the point where it doesn't feel like necessarily anything significant happens to her, but they build up her story. Then we cut to, I think Archer is his name, and that's Thanos. That's Josh Brolin's character. And he starts going through his motions, and he starts, we see him when he first wakes up, he's still sleeping in his son's bed. His son's been missing for a month. He is really struggling with it. His wife is frustrated with him because he isn't handling it very well. He's messing up at work. He owns his own construction company. He's got issues there. But we see him open up in his son's bed. He goes to work. His issues branch out from there. Then we see Paul, which is Alden Ehrenreich's character, and we see him go through a handful of things that he's going through in his day to day. His marriage is he's not particularly happy in it. His wife bothers him, but his wife's father is also the chief of police. So he's a cop. So
Mm.
there's a whole dynamic there. And I don't feel like it's a spoiler to say that he has a one night tryst with Justine.
Oh no.
And so that causes chaos in his life. And then during his little stint, he bumps into a meth head named James, maybe. I can't quite remember the characters. Yeah, James. And and so that kid has his whole thing, and then we cut to the fifth one after that, which is Alex, which is the kid that was left behind in the classroom, and that's when we really start piecing things together as to what happened in the story, and so that especially when you get into his story, some crazy shit happens before that, but when they start telling his story, you actually start to get real answers as to what's going on, and those answers are bizarre. Like it's definitely a trip. Like it's kind of wild, and um, it gets it. That's when I think it starts to become truly a horror flick. Like there's definitely some like kind of jump scary moments in there, and the thing that happened. And as a parent watching this, I think the idea of your kid just up and leaving in the middle of the night is scary. The
Terrifying.
irony there is that um my middle son, the one that I went with, when he was young, he was on they diagnosed him with autism. And to be fair, like now he's just a little ADHD, just a little uh you know, uh little impulsive maybe. But you otherwise wouldn't ever know that he had been labeled on the
You
spectrum,
the one
right?
with no fear, he said.
Yes. Yeah, and then that's the thing. Like, so
No fear tip.
there was this paranoia
Yeah,
for years that he would literally do exactly this. That he would just get up one night and be like, "Fuck it, I'm going for a walk," and just disappear. Like one time we came home and the dude took the screen off his window was on the roof of the house. I was like, "Fuck!" So like I took extra precautions for
yeah,
this kid because of who he was, but watching this opening scene where these kids just get up and walk out, I was like, fuck that's scary as a parent because like I
yeah,
could see it happening without all the mysticism and voodoo and weird shit that's going on. You'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, and so to see the way that Josh Brolin's character handled it, that's not out of the realm of sanity to be like, fuck, I just can't let go. This is my kid's room. No body was ever found. He's still alive. Like, what are you dealing with? And so basically this movie builds, like I said, in the middle there with those four stories, five stories. It's probably a little too slow. They could have tightened those up. um but man, when it hits the ground running in those last 10-15 minutes, that's when this thing takes off. This is what earned it all of its ratings and everything. It is fucking bonkers. Like it is nuts in the last few minutes, and then it just ends. Like it goes crazy, and then it's over. Like you barely have time to recover from the madness, and it's like, cool, here's the end of our story, and blah blah blah, and we're done. And you're just like, holy shit.
I'm already inspired. I didn't know, but apparently this is the guy who did Barbarian.
Hmm.
And Barbarian is one of my favorites in recent memory.
Hmm.
I liked it.
And
So
Justin Long has a cameo in this one.
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. If you had to rate this film against Barbarian, what would you say is a better film?
I think this is a better movie than Barbarian.
Wow. Okay.
Barbarian was a little nuttier and a little cornier there in the end. But it sort of suffers from the same problem. Like, right, like Barbarian opens with this whole like
Meet
almost
cute.
different storyline that leads
Yes.
into the other one, and it was, arguably too long. But I think, yeah, I think it's a fair comparison, and I think both movies are really good. I think this is a better movie than Barbarian. It may not be more entertaining than Barbarian. I'd have to rewatch Barbarian now and just to know for sure, but I thought this one was really good. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily say it's a 95%. Like, I'm somewhere between a 7 and an 8, probably closer to an 8,
Okay.
rating it. And that's because of the middle, it just being a little too slow. But like I said, the ending, I mean, the way that it ends is like super satisfying for the story, leaves it in a really good spot as far as y- you know s- storyline satisfaction. Like it's not necessarily a perfect happy ending, but it's not the most depressing ending either. Like it ends in an interesting spot in an interesting way. It sounds like he may have plans for a sequel to this, which I'm not sure what they would do. There's definitely an option there, but it's a stretch. So to see what they would do next would be very interesting. Um, and I can't really talk about where that could go without giving major things away, but definitely very interesting. The great performance by Amy Madigan in this. She's definitely an older actress now. She's been around for a long time. She was the wife in Field of Dreams, and been around for a long, long time. And but she's really good in this. Uh, and I just think, we're going to talk about War of the Worlds in a little bit. And when you talk about what a director can and can't do, these two movies are both are the different sides of the coin, right? Like Krieger, the guy that directed this one, on point, dude. He's got everybody, he's got emotions tight, he's got everything, going great, all that. War of the Worlds, like, dude was like, let's just make a movie. I'm not worried about directing it. And there's scenes in that one where you can tell where they were just like, ah, fuck it, just go, and didn't really do anything. So, um, yeah, this movie Weapons is it's really good, and I think I said it in our chat, but I think this benefits from seeing it in the theater because of that slowness in the middle. I think if you watched it at home, you could get distracted. Like you could pull out your phone. I was definitely thinking about time during this. Like I really was. I was like, where are we at time wise? Because it feels like we've been watching for a long time, but I don't see where the end is yet. Like I can't see that coming. And so it was, in that, like I said, in that regard, it was a little slow. There were a couple of things that I felt like were predictable might be the wrong word, but I definitely saw a couple of things coming before the end.
Hmm.
But not in a bad way. Like it wasn't like, oh shit, that ruins everything. It's like when it happens and you're justified, you're like, dope. That's what I wanted. So, um, yeah, all in all, I would say if you like horror flicks and you've got the time to go see this in the theater, absolutely go. It was really good. Like you said, it's different than Barbarian for sure. I think this is um, more psychological than Barbarian. Barbarian is really just, the monster in the basement and everybody trying to survive. This one definitely has a little bit of psychology to it, a little bit of craziness to it. And just it's a trip. There's one moment, because my son asked me, he's like, "Well, why did they call it weapons?" And it's literally because of like a line that Josh Brolin says. Otherwise, there's really no reason to call this weapons. It's a really interesting choice of name to give this movie. Um, but there's a scene where Josh Brolin's character is dreaming and he comes to his own house and he looks over his head or over his house, and there's like a thunderstorm and you see this giant M16 above his house, like machine gun, and there's a clock that says 2:17, which is when the kids up and left the house. But otherwise, like that has no bearing on the movie. It was a weird moment that, like, for a minute, I was like, wait, are we watching something that's like this was a school shooting and now we're in some like psychological like thing, which it was not. I'll tell you that right now. It is not about a school shooting at all. Um, but I was like, part of me was just like, are they doing something really, really weird here with like our brains or whatever? But definitely different than that. Um, but yeah, if you got the time, definitely worth checking out. So,
I did do some like I'm looking at the page here online, and it apparently Thanos was supposed to be played by Reed.
oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. He had the dropout. So
yeah.
this got hit big time with because of the writer's strike and some stuff like that. So I think more than one character was recast. I think he said at one point he had to redo a lot of
Yeah, it
roles.
was not only Reed, but also whoever plays well, Renata Rensev, I think, was replaced by Julia Garner. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so even Julia Garner was like brought in. That's
Who,
so ironic though. Like
who was the other actress?
Renata, I can't say her last name properly. Renata Reinsve. But what doesn't
Hmm.
make sense to me is if Pedro had to leave for Fantastic Four when Julia Garner was in Fantastic Four and she came in to replace somebody. Like,
Well, she had a
I
lot
mean,
less screen time.
yeah, and I'm sure it's just probably just like, she shot her scenes probably separately from them, but
Hmm.
that's interesting Hollywood magic that they do.
Yeah, yeah, and I think some of it too is like once you're up into a project for so long, that if it's not coming to fruition, you have to look at the next thing and then make that decision. Whereas it's very possible that Julia Garner was already in Fantastic Four, and then she
Hmm.
got offered this part, and she was able to say, "Hey, let's work around this," rather
Yeah,
than Pedro being like, "Hey, I can't star in two movies," right? Like
right.
it's harder to do. You can do it, and a lot of people do, but I think Fantastic Four was a bigger undertaking. And you said he would have been. I mean, if he was going to be Josh
Josh
Brolin's
Brolin's. Yeah.
character, he really wasn't in it that much. Like he probably could have done both, but I'm glad this was Josh Brolin. He did a great job. Like he really did. But yeah, just a lot of fun. So
All right. Last question, it's probably spoilery, but does this get supernatural or is this straight up like,
I'll say
just
yes. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely got it's supernaturally stuff in there for sure.
now
I
would you consider Barbarian supernatural or just freaky?
I mean it's borderline supernatural. Like it feels like she had superpowers, right? Like she did some crazy shit down there in the basement, right? Like
I still can't forget how Homeboy's arm got ripped off. And then she beat him to death with his arm. That's what oh my God, that was what? Mother. I think her name was Mother. That's
yeah,
the name of the monster.
yeah. I think this one had two
Hmm.
particularly brutal kills in it. Like one, I'm not even going to say anything about them, but they're pretty wild. There's two that are just like holy shit. But I remember like so I will say, and I've seen this in other reviews. When you get to that last 10 to 15 minutes, it's so fucking crazy that it's like over the top and wild, but at the same time, like the theater was laughing. Like we were all laughing at this moment because it's like the hilarity and the horror. Like you see this thing happen and you're like, that is so fucking nuts that that you literally laugh. Everybody around me's laughing. And then it keeps going. But just for this moment, you're just like, holy shit. Like this is actually happening, and it's wild.
I love it. I love it. So maybe this guy's gonna take. So yeah, he's 2 for 2 now, I think, for good horror movies.
Yeah, and
So Ari.
he's talking about another one, and he's going to direct the next Resident Evil movie, which is a big undertaking too. That is a video game franchise, which is very hard to recommend to anybody to do. And on top of that, Resident Evil actually had a pretty decent run of movies starring Mila Jovovich,
Mhm.
which didn't really feel like the games. Like they were similar but not. So it'll be interesting to see what take he does going to do that. But he definitely has a solid career. He's got a career ahead of him that he can blow if he doesn't do right. But if he pulls off Resident Evil and he decides to do a sequel to this that doesn't suck, he'll be in great shape. So it's going to be really wild to see where he goes from here. And I guess he spent some time with David Fincher and talked to David Fincher, and so yeah, he's making smart moves. Like I don't when I look at Barbarian, it's you sort of watch it and you're like, I don't know if I'd define this movie as brilliant, like, but at the same time, like it was really fucking good. Like it was really
It was
entertaining.
different. Yes,
Yeah.
it was different, and it kind of reminded me. I mean, I only saw this movie once, but like People Under the Stairs. It just had a bit of
Hmm.
a backy, like 80s horror type thing going on, you know. So I liked that.
Yeah.
It was twisted.
Um,
All right. Well, I don't know, man. I think we both watched both. I don't know I mean, I do think the Area 51 documentary was hilarious.
hmm
I think that War of the World was kind of funny in a bad way, like a
hmm
very bad way. So I don't know, man. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do first?
Since I
If you
brought it up, let's just go to War of the Worlds
boom. All right.
because it was a bad movie. It is I think right now it's a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And IMDb, I want to say it's like 2 or
I want to
something.
say it was a 3.2, I think is what I saw this afternoon.
1 second. I'm gonna like it went down. 1 second. Hold on. Here we go. War of the World times 2.7, homie.
Is it down to 2.7 already?
2.7
Jesus
out of
Christ.
10 on IMDb, but it is 4% in Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, from the critics. Now the audience gave it like 23%. It's a little higher from the audience, which is nothing to be proud of, by the way. 23% sucks. Um
No, it's down to 21 now.
okay. Which it deserves, dude. I mean, this movie, it takes some solid actors. It's hard to say. Like, I'm trying to remember if I've seen Cube in anything where I think he's really good.
Well, I mean, he was good as Dope Boy. I'll say that. That was his
Yeah,
first role, you know. And then I was never really a fan of the Friday movies, but I know people like him in that.
yeah.
But as Doughboy, he was solid. I also liked him in Higher Learning. Don't know if you ever saw that one.
A long time ago. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, but he's one of those guys. You take a director that knows what they're doing, and you can get the right thing out of them. Who are the other big name actors in this? You had Eva Longoria.
Even Longoria. Oh, and dude, and why is detective slash agent slash director Coulson like playing a hollow version of himself?
Oh,
Like this movie, like my how far you fallen, dude. Like I loved you in Agents of Shield, and it was just like you even had the same voice. Like
yeah,
I was, but you're a bad guy now. Like I don't know, man.
yeah. He just sucks. And like, I mean, just to get into this movie, like, so
Uh,
the gist of this movie is this guy works for the
NSA or
NSA-ish,
something. Yeah.
and he has access to like everything fucking ever. Like he's got cameras everywhere. He can hack into anything because government. Like it's the idea, but and he's a dick. He's got fucking control of his son's computer, who is a grown adult. Like his son and his daughter are both grown adults. His daughter's pregnant, engaged. Uh, she's in a coffee shop buying a muffin and something, and he literally calls her and is like, "Why did you buy that muffin?" He's like, "I
You
checked your
broke
fridge and
me.
you don't." And you're like, "What?" Like this dude's a psycho. Like he's a straight up psychopath, and they sort of just normalize the crazy.
So you know what's funny actually? So, this is funny. I did not see this coming. I kind of got it, dude. Like like I was like, look, this guy clearly is traumatized by the death of his wife. I
Hmm.
think it was from cancer or something like that. So he basically has, yes, he has control issues, right? He's so traumatized by losing control. And I think that's what the whole, it's a metaphor for the government. The government is like surveying all of us because they want to control us so that way we don't, whatever. Like we're daddy, we're and their kids. That's what Colson says, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, yeah, he loves his kids so much that he is watching over them, you know? So for me, it's like, it's cool to see, I hate to get sociological here, but I'm gonna do it. It's cool to see an example of a black dad. I had a great dad, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, but you don't really see that a lot in the media. And so to see that kind of figure, that representation, I was okay with that. Did he go overboard? 1,000%. But at the same
Way
time,
overboard. Yeah.
but at the same time, like he saved his daughter's life when he commandeered like the car. So anyway, I just want to come to his defense. So I think it's gonna be good now because I think that we have like slightly different approaches, but we both agree the movie was a terrible film. But all right,
It's
I so
fucking
I
horrible.
defend Radford or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I think, I mean, yes, I agree that the love was there, but what he was doing was generally wrong. Like if you if you were sitting there one day and your dad called and he was like, "Hey, I've been in your computer today and you probably shouldn't be looking at site A, X, Y, and Z, and you should probably be, you know, eating X, Y, and Z. Take this vitamin supplement, don't take that vitamin supplement, blah blah blah. And I heard what you said to your friends about blah blah blah." You'd be like, "Dude, you need to calm down a bit. You just dial it back a hair."
I mean, yes, but I don't think the dad was that bad. Like, I don't think he was actually, he'd only intervene when it was like a health risk
But it wasn't even a
or,
health risk. She bought a muffin.
dude, because too many carbs. Babies need protein. I
Babies
know,
need
so weird.
everything.
They do
Uh,
need everything. You're
As I've
right.
been through four,
I'm not even gonna speak to
four
that.
of
Yeah,
these.
I'm not gonna speak, but I'm just saying, as someone who was, I lean keto, like I was like, yeah, the carb thing is you need some carbs, baby. That's all I'm saying. No
Yeah.
pun intended. But anyhow, I concede that he went overboard, but I
Yeah.
also, I also again applaud the level of love he had for his kids. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, like I love my kids, and
But you wouldn't do that.
I don't know if I would go that far, but I would definitely like watch out for my kids in every way that I could think of, you know? So with respect to that, yeah, I get that. I mean, again, and in the career that he's in, maybe you go a little crazy, right? You go over a little over the top.
1,000%.
Um, but let me ask you this, because me and my kids struggled with this. We were watching this because I watched this with my youngest and my oldest. We watch all the bad movies together, which we immediately jumped on this. Um, what the fuck was the timeline in this movie? At what stretch of time did this movie happen over?
You know what's funny?
Because
You keep going.
because it couldn't have been that long.
No, I would guesstimate maybe 2 days, like maybe,
But dude
because we
couldn't
only
leave his
saw
office. He never could eat or go to the bathroom. And his daughter was bleeding out.
it had to be one day.
I mean, it had to be
It
almost
had to
less
be
than a
all,
day. So, like,
yeah,
it was, I mean, this is one of those things that was just so poorly done because, like, the idea is there that he is trapped here. So that's why we're seeing everything from his point of view.
yeah.
But, like, every time he would discover something, instantly it was on CNN and across the whole world. Like, the militaries of the whole world joined together in like 10 minutes to start, but like everything happened way too fast.
I was, and the whole time I was like, really, in 2025, these are the best effects you could do. Like,
Oh man, it's so bad.
I actually was wondering if it was AI. Like, I was like, this is really bad. This is a TV movie, and
Yes,
I'm
this
like,
was like old school, like early 2000s sci-fi channel stuff. Like Battlestar
yes,
Galactica
if
looked better.
if not even late 90s. Like it
Yeah.
was that bad. So why? So I'm just like I literally was like, how did Ice Cube? How did you sign up for this? Evil Longoria,
Yeah.
how did you sign up for this? Universal, how did you put your name on this? And then like the blatant like
Oh shit.
like like I was gonna like save this, but let's just put it out there, dude. Amazon, dude.
Oh, this is
Like
100% an Amazon commercial.
it was an Amazon commercial. The fact that he actually says, I'm gonna need you to place an order to activate the drone, and they actually show the
It's the whole
screenshot of
process.
pushing the button, and it's not even like a different looking, no, it is straight up Amazon.
Yeah.
And like he's an Amazon driver. Like, dude, I think Amazon had like 40%. I'm joking, but it was absolutely at
Oh
least
yeah.
25% screen
Well,
time.
we were laughing because at one point they call out Ring more than once, like the Ring doorbell cams. And I
Yeah.
looked at one of my sons. I was like, I guarantee you that Amazon owns Ring now. And they looked it up, and sure enough, Amazon owns Ring. So like, it's just one more product placement in this thing that was absolutely nuts. It was like it wasn't even like sort of masked. It wasn't like somebody just walking by with a Coke can and you're like, "Oh, that's Coca-Cola." Dude, I mean, they like said Amazon. Dude was an Amazon driver.
That's what I'm
Uh,
saying, dude. They
why,
BS
why,
over.
why, when Cube hacks into his video feed inside his van, are there like 16 cameras inside this Amazon van? He gets like six different angles. I'm like, no, dude. The Amazon doesn't even own the vans. Like you rent your own van. Like
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
it's
Yeah,
like,
that it the whole thing just felt so cheap. And then also like, even Cube's reactions, I couldn't tell. Like sometimes you could just tell he phoned it in. And I'm a dick, but like I just couldn't buy him like the way he was talking like, show, the plan for the
oh,
sit rep
as an
is
NSA employee,
yes.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I love Cube, like I really do.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah, man. Like when the one that kills me is when he thinks his son dies the first time. Like
Mhm.
he's just like
Yeah.
he's not even sad. I'm like, dude, I would be wrecked. And the other thing that's hilarious is blatantly in this entire movie, he has one kid that he really likes and one kid that he fucking hates. Like
Yeah.
he is a total ass bag to his son the
Yeah. Wouldn't even
entire
listen to
time.
him the whole
And his
time. Yes.
even at the end when he sends the email to his kids and he attaches the
Right.
pictures,
Yeah.
there's three pictures of his daughter, two
Oh
pictures of her fiance, and one picture of his own
man.
actual son. You're
Yeah.
like,
No,
dude.
you're so right, dude. You're so right. What else? Okay, so I will say even Longoria, sorry, like every time you came on the screen, even your little screenshot, I was like, nice, you know?
She's I can't say anything other than she is a beautiful human being. Like she's just gorgeous and she's I mean got to be pushing 60 at this point.
Oh man, really? That
I mean
old?
she's older than
But
us, right?
well, yeah, like probably by 10 years, but
Well, then that's pushing 60, man.
holy shit. But hold on.
She might not be that
Actually,
much
no,
older than
she's
us.
not that much older. She was born in 75, dude. So
Was she
she's
really?
only
She's
yeah,
she's 50.
she just hit 50, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Right. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean
So
she looks great. So, but yeah, I think yeah, just how like the people they put in this movie and the quality of the movie. I'm like, what did they pay you, man? Because they didn't put anything into the effects budget.
and
They,
that's what worries me too. It's like, did you guys really take like $20 to be in this bad movie? Like they couldn't have paid you that much. Like, and Eva, like you're banging and I'm gonna brag a little bit. You kind of do remind me of my fiance, just saying. No, but for real though, like why would you be in this movie? It must look better on paper. Maybe
dude,
that's the
I don't
only
even
thing.
know. And like me and my kids were like sort of frustrated by the entire like setup of it being
All
99% on his
screen.
screen
Yeah.
because it would have been better if they showed his whole screen. If it was the whole screen and they kind of made things bigger when he was doing them, like that would have been better than what they did. Like they just kind of zoomed in around different parts of his screen, which didn't really
Yeah.
make a lot of sense. And then like they're hyping it as Teams, right? But anybody that uses Teams knows that you can't rename people's names. So would she have called herself was it Sandra NASA, and then
All right.
DHS boss and all this stuff? They're like that's not what like that's not even how that works.
What I thought was interesting too was how there was like a customer service for the
Oh
intelligence
shit. Yeah,
community.
he's like, I need to hack a drone, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, here you go. Like
What?
I need this password, and then like I need it now. Like Like it was just, I don't know. I mean, again, I was okay, so those aspects of it, like the idea of being able to just kind of survey everything and hack in everything and blah blah blah. I mean, it does. If anybody has like anxiety over being surveyed, this is not the movie for you. I'm just saying, like for sure. But and he was funny with it. But I also liked how by the end of the film, like he flips and goes from, being part of the government to now joining like, the hacker community. He's now like a white hat hacker basically versus just the
Which,
government.
for the record, I think we talked about this in the pre-show and not the actual show, but how the only people on the entire planet that matter is this dude and his two kids.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that his kid had to be the one, really, like, and you could, it was, of course, he's the hacker. Like,
Yeah,
it was too hard. Like, when it's like doing the voice recognition, I'm like, of course, it's fucking kid. Like, it was just
yeah,
like this movie just made itself completely bad, and then it turned into for me a bit of Ready Player One because it reminded me of like Ready Player One, like all these other hackers coming together, then even the aliens themselves, like just like really, so that's their deal. Like they eat data, like that's what they love. Like that's it. They just eat data. And then
yeah.
it turned to like Independence Day, let's upload like a bad thing into like their
Yes.
systems, as if like our data is somehow compatible with them, and then it's like they're biological and they're like it was so bad. Like how again, I am flabbergasted as to how this got made.
Oh,
And
it was done with absolutely no technical research at all. Like the things they did were just preposterous.
all right, here's my question. This or Moonfall, which is the worst
Oh,
movie?
a Moonfall. This is a worse movie for sure.
Yeah,
This
okay,
movie
good.
is
Yes.
infinitely worse than Moonfall. And one of the things that like even my kids were like, yeah, I would not watch this again. Whereas
Yeah.
Moonfall may be bad for sure. And but like the
Moonfall had great
performances,
special effects though. Like
Moonfall had great special effects, even though they were ridiculous. Again, a movie made with almost no research, obviously.
yes, that's what you think
Um,
of it.
but like it was, and it is bad. But
It's
like
really bad.
the performances were not bad. Like the actors were good in the parts they were given. Like they did well. I
You're
mean,
talking
it's
about
a
Moonfall?
yeah. I
Yes.
feel like was Moonfall Roland Emmerich?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. And so I mean, you have that Roland Emmerich thing. Like
Yes.
if you look at Independence Day, sure, it's corny. Like some of the stuff is really corny, but the performances are solid.
Yeah,
Goldblum is
especially Bill
great.
Pullman,
Yeah.
Will Smith, like everyone delivered, even Vivica A. Fox. But this movie, there was literally the only thing I found the only redeeming thing of this movie is the family love. Like I liked seeing the dad type up the email. Like he's literally like, "Love you," admitting, hey, I may have gone too far. I need to let go, that kind of thing. And like that's beautiful. But to say that's the only redeeming, and then Eva is beautiful. But to say that's the only redeeming things about the movie is not good, especially. And again, I literally thought I've seen like amateur YouTube videos with like better effects
Oh my
than
God,
this.
yes.
It was how, how. So anyway, yo, anybody who's listening, like just I had to see for myself. Like I'm like, okay, it's got 0% on, you know, Rotten Tomatoes, and everyone's like, actually, it is worse than you think. Like that was a tagline.
Hmm.
And if I wasn't part of APNC, I would not have watched this. Or I would have started it
You
and
would have
stopped it.
stopped it within, yeah. I
I wouldn't
mean,
have finished it. I had to finish it. And yeah, my time was wasted, but at least we could laugh about it on the podcast.
yeah, I don't see how you could watch this without a purpose and get more than 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe in. Like it's just it is so bad. It is so monumentally bad that like it's just there's nothing about it that really redeems itself.
I was trying to imagine what it'd be like to see this in the theater. I actually think people will get violent.
No shit.
Like,
Can you imagine if you had paid for this? You'd be furious.
you'd want your money back.
Oh yeah.
No, and people would walk out. People would walk out like
Oh, for sure.
it'd be
A
empty.
100%. Like, why
Yeah.
would you stay?
Hell, I almost walked out of Independence Day too. I remember I was so excited to
The
see it.
second Independence Day?
Yes, dude, I
That movie
almost
sucked
walked
butt.
out.
That movie sucked giant butt. That is a
It
terrible,
was
terrible
so
movie.
bad. Oh my God, but I was like, you know what? I paid for it. At least the special effects are decent. Let me stay. But I was like, this is bad. But no, yeah, I so basically just above Skinamarink. Some critics said this was the worst film of the year. Absolutely worst film of the year.
Oh,
And
for sure. Like, I don't even know how something would compete with this for worst movie. Like, I just, like you said, man, I mean, more thought went into advertising Amazon than it did researching the movie, special effects, anything else. Like, the fact that this is on Amazon Prime tells
says
you
it
that this was
all.
100% funded by Amazon.
1000%, and it's kind of disgusting. And if I think it's the copyright's expired or whatever. But if it's not, and there is some family or whatever who owns the rights to War of the Worlds,
Oh, I'd be
I would
pissed,
be, I would sue for defamation. I would say, how
right?
dare you sully the name of War of the Worlds with this tripe?
S-
Seriously.
Supposedly, the budget for this was $65 million. And how, I mean, the 64 million must have gone to the actors.
I was
Like,
just gonna say,
like I don't understand.
seriously, wow, no,
Yeah,
no,
there's none of the effects are special, right?
no.
Like the look of the computer screen, garbage. Like
It looked like stock footage. Yo, when the
there
plane
was
came out
definitely
of the
stock footage in
sky,
this.
yes, like all like the military stuff, that was stock. And then the
100%.
plane falls out of the sky. I was like, dude, that is the absolute. That was like the Langoliers in 1993.
Right?
Like, it was
Yeah.
that level of bad.
And then they're like, well, here's footage. All our military shut down. And like all of a sudden, all their military vehicles were like rusted over. And I was like, dude, it's been 15 minutes. Like, I was like, what is happening?
This had to be a joke. This had to be a joke. This had to be a joke. Yeah.
Yeah, I do not get it. Like this makes me want to go back and watch Spielberg's with Tom Cruise.
Dude, that was actually pretty effing good. Like I'm actually like, I remember like not seeing it in the theater. Like I've been hearing about it and people saying, "Oh yeah, it's whack." And they're trying to make it like more than one movie, but it never did. So my whole thing is like, okay, if it was a failed franchise starter, I'm not gonna waste my time. But I did end up watching it many, many years later, and I'm like, this actually wasn't, this was pretty good.
My biggest problem with that one, because if you know the story, you know what's going to happen, right? You know we survive. You know the aliens lose. All that. My biggest problem with that film is Tom Cruise goes barreling over a hill to his own death. And then at the end of the movie, we come to Boston, where Boston is leveled except for a single brownstone that happens to be their home. And Tom Cruise comes chucking out of that brownstone, like, hey guys, we made it. And you're like, number one, how the fuck did you get there in time? How did you beat everybody there? How did you survive running over that hill? Like, yeah, let's ignore that stuff and just have the overly happy ending. It was like they filmed that movie and then somebody said, yeah, but you can't be
Yeah,
sad at the end. And so they're like, okay. And that was my really like realistically, and again, this is coming off of memory because it's been a long time.
same though for me.
But that was my only problem with it was just the corniness of the ending, not the overall ending, because like I said, we know what happens in War of the Worlds. It's technically what happened in this one, albeit done even more poorly, because they killed him with two viruses. But yeah, it was funny because when me and my kids were watching this one, in the very beginning, she was like, "Oh, I created this virus called," and it was even like the cannibal virus. Like, what the fuck does that mean? As soon as they said it, I was like, "That is what they are going to use at the end of this
Correct.
movie."
Yep.
And like, it's just, it hurts, man. It was a painful, painful movie.
It hurt. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's our verdict, man.
Yeah,
Man.
just don't watch it unless you have a compelling reason to mock it, because that's all you can do. Like this was bad. Some
And
bad shit.
it was like it's worse than you think. Like it really,
It really,
I
really is.
didn't, because yeah, it's like people can like make fun of something and you're like, is it really that bad? Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like it's
Yeah.
shockingly bad. That's the word, shockingly.
Yes.
Like every like universe, like I saw the Universal. Yo, I even remember like play, whatever. Like I have my little dreams and fantasies. And I'm like, okay, if I was gonna make a movie, what studio would I want to work with, right? And for me, I narrowed it down to like Paramount and Universal. Universal hurt. Now after seeing that Universal did that, I'm now all Paramount all the way. What? I mean, Universal, you guys started to try to MonsterVerse, didn't work. So like,
Well,
like
and
yeah.
this poor fucking dude, like, number one, he's only directed music videos before this, and I'm like, you know what? Go back to that because this isn't your jam. And number two, he is like the effects guy on a bunch of movies, and I was like, but these effects suck, dude. Like, I do not understand where $65 million went.
You know what? That's embezzlement.
Dude, it's got to be like somebody is sitting on a pile of money somewhere.
Yes.
They're just like, yeah, we definitely use this in this movie.
I actually think I can't think like those are the worst special effects I've seen in a movie. Probably I'm tempted to say in my life. Like I mean, as far as like you can
For
watch a
the era
movie.
it was created in.
That's what,
Yeah.
yes, yes. That is the worst effects I've seen in my life from a movie that was dropped like a contemporary film.
Yeah.
That's
Like I'm saying, like honestly, you can go watch Battlestar Galactica from 2000 right now, and every single effect in that movie is better than what, or that show is better than what was in this movie. And that was 25 years ago
it's insulting. It's
on
insulting
TV.
to the viewer. It's
I don't
like
need, there is no viewer. Like,
although it was when I booted it up, it was number 5 on Amazon. So
yes,
to me,
like
it was like
people are giving it a shot,
they are.
and then they are destroying it on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. Like it
I
is,
love how it was like 3 when you last checked, and I'm like, ah, it's 2.7 now. Like it's going down.
yeah, it's going quick. And this came out Thursday?
Something like that, man.
No,
Maybe
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there.
yeah.
I remember, like, remember when you posted about it on Facebook, and it was like, I was seriously like, oh, is this really how? I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yes, I
It was not
remember.
advertised at all.
Yes.
Yeah,
And now we know. Wait, now we know. If a
yeah.
movie just comes out of nowhere, yo, it's not good. And then I loved also when I looked at the length. Yep, it was the magic 1 hour and 30 minutes. Like it's just
Hmm.
that's how you
Yeah.
know the movie's bad.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, fuck.
Oh my God.
So yeah. So, anyways, the takeaway here is absolutely go watch War of the Worlds. Sit down and watch it with your family and your friends. And obviously give all those hours of viewing time to Amazon so they feel like this was a success.
19% of Google users liked this movie. I think this could bring about world peace. I think that we all
We can agree on
agree.
this.
Yes.
'Cause- yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God. All right.
yeah. It's just so much of it was you're like, okay. Like that's all you can see. You're just watching. You're just like, all right, like when the bugs, she captured the little bugs, and she's like, "Oh, I looked at it," and she's like, but she put it under a microscope somehow. And I'm like, "How did you get to a fucking lab with a microscope that you're allowed to use in an hour? And how did you get this thing under a microscope to see that?"
After you had like after you get didn't she give birth? And then like there's like a thing in her leg that like
Oh
needed to
yeah,
be
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. The daughter, and
tourniqueted.
and when he goes to tape her up, and he's like, "Don't
Trust
worry,
me,
I yeah,
I'm a
you
professional or
my
whatever. Like,
dude, me and my kids were dying. I was like, Jesus fuck. Of course he can fucking do this because he's an Amazon driver. He can package tape her leg and she will survive.
so here's what so people also ask, this is Amazon, how bad is War of the Worlds? I think this is from Rotten Tomatoes. Amazon's War of the Worlds is a shockingly, they use my word,
Hmm.
shockingly inept adaptation that would have H.G. Wells rolling in his grave with Ice Cube delivering a performance so embarrassing he may want to consider leaving the planet. Content collapsed. Oh, a story this big needs to be opened up, not confined to prep, whatever. I think it was just like, but anyway, yeah, this was a universally panned film,
Yeah.
and we were here to cover it. We suffered for you. Don't say we didn't do any, we never did anything for you guys. We saved
Yes,
you.
this is definitely the we watched it so you don't have to segment. Like, just if God, if you value your fucking sanity at all, just don't bother. Like, this is just there's not a moment of this movie that's really worth watching, other than Eva Longoria. Every time she's on screen, she's gorgeous.
Yes. Oh my God. We love you, Eva. We we
Yeah,
we, we still have.
you know the story about how she saved John Wick, right?
She
She,
financed it, right? Or produced
yeah,
it.
yeah, it was
And now she's balling.
yeah, they were struggling. Like they were struggling. John Wick almost didn't get made, and she came in with like $6 million of her own money and was like, let's finish this film just out of nowhere. Like she wasn't even involved. And she brought it back. So I mean, like Eva's dope, dude. Like I love Eva. Um, I do not understand why she signed on to this movie. Like Cube, I kind of get. Like he's not the best actor in the world, you know, whatever. Um, but out of the two big guys from NWA at this point, I think Dre did a little better than Cube.
Well, not to like out Cube, but I think Cube might actually be a bit on the orange tip, if you know what I'm talking about. Have you heard? Yeah, so
Uh,
yeah. Or if he's not orange, then he's definitely like, you know, I'll just say a free thinker. So I'm just saying, I've seen him on Fox and everything. So anyway, that just got controversial. But we'll see.
yeah.
We'll-
So,
Alrighty
well,
then.
then what a perfect transition from speaking about aliens to Trainwreck Area 51. You watched it. I watched it. Uh, this is a whole like was this the only one of Trainwreck that was 2 episodes?
Well, besides, for this year, yeah. Remember the original one
Hmm.
was Woodstock, that was three.
Okay.
But as far as this run, yes, 2 episodes, and I was actually happy with that. I was like, I need more
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah.
Yes. Whew. So who wants to go first, man?
Go
Because
ahead. Go ahead. I feel like I've been talking all freaking night.
I loved it. It was like I rem well, first of all, I didn't realize that happened so long ago. Like I thought it was more recent than 2019. But yes, like basically this documentary chronicles the journey of a random kid who works at a booth in the mall who has a little Facebook page that is basically like, sorry guys, that's what they call it, a shit post page. It's
Hmm.
trolling, it's memes, and he decides to just basically put up a page or an event called Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us or something like that, right?
With absolutely no malice. This dude is doing like he is not like in his head, he's not attacking Area 51, right? It's
Yeah.
just a joke.
Just a joke. But all of a sudden, within like 24 hours, dude, like it goes viral and people are actually down with the sickness. And oh my God, like it's just to me, and I just gotta say, I'm just going to jump around for a second. I loved seeing all the different players and the commentary from like the military guys to like the local sheriff to like the poor woman who owned the bar.
Oh,
Like
dude, for a minute
at,
that was heartbreaking.
it was to
Oh,
yeah. I mean, but all the commentary, and I love how like I'm skipping to the end a little bit, but I love how the guys like even though they called in all that military and they explained how many millions of dollars were wasted
it was a
like on
lot.
this thing, he's like, yeah, I will defend till the end of time, basically. Like we made the right call because if we hadn't taken those precautions and there was a humanitarian disaster, it would have been why didn't you guys do anything? But
Yep.
I just loved how oh my God, okay, we gotta go in sequence. But it guys, seriously, like if you haven't seen this one yet watch it because I I've never been so entertained from a documentary. Like like these people are real. Like this actually happened.
Hmm.
Humans do this. Like people are like from all over the world or all over the country are like going to they want to party and storm Area 51. Like, oh my God. Anyways, that's my first kind of uh summary of it. What about you? Because you saw it first, so you asked me to check it out.
Yeah, yeah. I think number one, it was really entertaining. It was really interesting um to see this thing blow up from absolutely nothing. This kid wasn't anybody. I think he said he had like 73 followers or something like that when he started this thing. Like he was not popular. He wasn't anybody special. And he, like you said, he puts up this post for an event, Storm Area 51. Um, and it blows up into a fucking music festival somehow. And then it's two music festivals. And then we get all the way to the end where there are actually people there to raid Area 51. And then what happens there at the end is hilarious in the way that it all ends up, and just the amount of people that get dicked around in this thing is wild. And then the very end, when dude is like, "Cool, cool, cool. This whole thing went down. I made $1,300, and now I'm back at the kiosk."
Yes, like
And
that's nuts. Like after all that celebrity, so I actually I pulled up some information because I want to make sure that we're not like m missing. So basically, Homeboy, he was basically scrolling through YouTube on his phone at the mall, and he came across a clip of Joe
Joe
Rogan
Rogan,
on
yeah.
his podcast with some other guy talking about aliens at Area 51. So he basically is like basically saying, look, they can't stop all of us, and we need to Naruto run, like Naruto run, like which is like just running
Which,
like this with your
but
arms
he
out.
added that later. He didn't do that at
Oh,
first
okay.
because remember his mom was giving him shit, and she was like, "If you don't do something to prove to these people that this is a
It's a
joke,
joke. Yes,
right? That
yes,
that you're
yes,
going to get
yes.
in trouble for it because it's going to look like you're actually trying to conspire against the government." So he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll add this ridiculous thing to really emphasize that it's a joke." And then people are just like, "No, you're right. We should totally Naruto run to this fucking thing." And you're like, What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, man. So basically, as this thing gets bigger and bigger, bigger, he calls up this one buddy guy who, like, out of LA, a Bakersfield, I think it was. No, he's from Bakersfield. He calls up this guy who's a promoter, and they're like, okay, we have, I think it was like 6 weeks or something like that to like plan this. So maybe it was even further out, but it was like, I think it was 6 weeks or something like
It
that.
was not a lot of time. He
No.
said something like maybe it was 60 days. But he was like, usually no, I think you're right. I think it was 6 weeks because he's like, usually we have like 6 months, and they
Yeah.
wanted to do all this in 6 weeks.
And it was just like so this promoter guy at his pool and everything, and like they're trying to figure it out, and like he's showing up on like newscasts, and then like the owner of the a little alien, like first of all, I never heard of Rachel, Nevada. So apparently it's like a town with like I don't know, like 20 people or something like that, and like everyone lives in like a little alien. So it's a little alien.
Mm.
So like close to Area 51. She owns it. They go out, they agree, like she signs up, like she's like, I will clear this land and we'll set up the stage and everything like that. But then as things get closer and closer and closer, and the sponsor money's not coming in, she ends up having to foot the bill. I want to say it was like 8 grand or 3 grand or something crazy.
It was a substantial amount of money for somebody that doesn't
Yeah, that
really
doesn't have
make a
that
lot of
kind of
money.
money. Yeah, and it's like I don't know. I mean, it really was like I mean, it's funny. I There was references to like the fire festival, like we do not want to have another fire festival. There's like the sheriff who doesn't like people are like calling the sheriff's office and shutting down their phone lines because it's like they're like literally like it's the power of the mob. I love how like it came down to a city council vote and it was like the commissioner, I think whatever, the city commissioner, and they're like, please, commissioner, please just stop this like thing. And the commissioner's like,
Eh. He's like, fuck it.
it's like it has to happen. But I love how like the feds finally said to Maddie, like, look, if you do this and something goes wrong,
It's all
like
you.
It's all you. And I love how even when Maddie went and got that other guy, like who seemed a little gangster or
Yeah, the
whatever,
shady
like,
motherfucker. Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
this dude has killed people. Like he has offed people in Vegas somewhere, right? Like,
you made me think of the term 86, 8 miles
mhm.
out. Anyway, but like, and I love how when they all got to the place at the house and they blew up, the guy's like slamming the table, like yelling at her, and she's leaving crying. And then they have like it almost seems bittersweet, like how they ended up, like you said, having two different festivals, one, in the desert, and then one in Las Vegas downtown. And, it just seemed so anticlimactic. I also love the scene where you could even tell the newscasters in the morning show, she's like, wait, so is this happening or not? Like she was like pissed. Like why is this motherfucker on our show if
Mhm.
he doesn't even know this is happening? This is like 2 weeks away. Like
Yeah.
there's no story here. And he's just kind of like, yeah, uh-huh.
Well, and he is fucking like he does not belong in any of the situations he is in, right? Like they're interviewing him and he is petrified. Like he does not belong on camera. Like he does not have that energy. Like,
He's getting death threats. Like,
yeah.
and it's just it's like it is crazy to me how like the internet is like it's a cautionary tale. Like be careful. Like you might, and to again, for me, all that stress and anxiety is not worth 2 grand. I'm sorry. Like to only and not even and it wasn't even 2 grand. It was like it was less than 2 grand. It was like
Yes, it was like $1,300. He didn't make it. And what the funny thing too about the end is this woman who used her land for this got
yeah,
screwed over.
yes.
She won the lawsuit against the
But
promoter
he's
for
not
three
gonna
something million dollars, and he's like, "Well, I'm never going to pay that." But she's owed $3 million. So at some point, she may get that money. She may not, but like she's owed some amount. Like she won
yeah.
to a degree.
And good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think she, out of everybody there, that she got the shit end of the stick. Like, dude had way too much stress on his shoulders for $1,300. But at the same time, like he didn't do anything. He just talked to other people and had them do things for him, right? Like he was just in the middle of this thing. He was the face of this thing, which when you put it on paper, actually involved a lot of people, even though at the end, not many people actually showed up at Area 51 proper to raid the gate. There was still a lot of people that showed up to the concert that he
Yes.
put on in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So a bunch of people showed up to that. Still a good handful of people showed up to Area 51 and then the after concert there. So I mean, this still touched a good amount of people, even though
I'll
it
be
picked
honest, I
apart.
remember RSVPing. So like I remember RSVPing on that page and like so it also was kind of like, by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, man, people are kind of BS. Like we all RSVP like over a million people, like millions.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
And yet only like I think it was like 300 people showed up or whatever, like something
Yeah, it was like
so
less than a
insane.
thousand at Area 51.
Yeah.
And then they all charge like they do
But it
like
was a
charge the gate
fun
and then they
but
stop.
stop right,
Yeah.
and that was good. Like I was like good, because I do believe it. I think they would have opened fire, which is
Oh,
crazy.
100%. It's wild to me that like literally not one person pushed it too
Right.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would have expected, even with that small number of people, that one idiot would have been like, fuck it, I'm doing it, and like jumped the fucking bar and tried to get through. And he probably wouldn't have got shot. He probably would have got tackled, right? Like with
Which
that few people. But
Oh, I don't know, man. They're gangster, man. I love also. I was glad that the sheriff, because he seemed like a pretty good-natured guy, was able to talk down the guy who had all that artillery in his back of his truck. Like,
oh shit, yeah.
talked him into just letting us keep it until he was done.
Yeah.
Because I was just like that, who knows, like what,
Yeah, dude,
what's
it
out
could have
there.
been crazy. Like there's so many ways this thing could have gone horribly wrong. And at the end of the day, for a couple of people to lose some money, a couple of people to make too much money, and a weird lawsuit, for that to be where it ended isn't that bad, right?
Yeah,
Like you said, it's a little anticlimactic for what it
yeah. What
was
it built up to.
started to build up to. Um, it is really interesting to watch though, to see um how this thing goes from 0 to 60 back down to 0.
Yeah. It really is alien stock. Like this,
Right?
like it's mm,
And
it,
and I watch it and I'm like, which party was better? The concert with a couple of crappy bands out in the middle of the desert where everybody was just having fun.
honestly, I that just might come down to who you are and what your philosophy is. But
Yeah, I think so.
I will say, absolutely. I think the one in Vegas was the one I would have won. Would have been I think that was more fun. Maddie was actually there.
Yep.
Like, the people probably weren't stinky. Like, I don't know. I'm not a hippie, so it's like I'm not about that desert life or burning. You'll never see me at Burning Man.
Oh,
Or
hell no.
hell no. Um. I also loved the Vice guy. I mean, he was so honest. Like he actually, I think towards the end was like, that was kind of messed up. Like he was jonesing for like drama. Like they were like, we
Mhm.
want to see some ish go down, you know? So they kind of played into it. And he was almost like, this is lame. Like we don't want to go to like the downtown. Like,
Yeah. Well, it was cool too, though, to see like the introspection from him at the end too. He's like, were we really chasing this story, or were we looking for people to fail?
yeah,
Like, were we looking for the negative story?
yes,
And that was, I think, maybe the best bit of introspection in the
1,000%.
whole story. Um, but yeah, it is really interesting to see something get so blown up and sort of, I guess, kind of fail up. But then at the end of the whole story, this dude that was the catalyst for it all walks away with almost nothing and is right back at his shitty little job. And from what I can tell, he hasn't done much since other than this documentary. Like he's just a dude that,
Yeah. I mean, this documentary might give him new life, but outside of that though, like,
but he doesn't seem like a dude with a ton of drive either. Like I don't know that he's got real goals, which you would have to have, right? Like to be able to spin this, like you've got to have
you
a
do.
little like an idea of something you want to do. And this wasn't even an idea that he had. It was just a fucking joke that went insane. So
Yeah. Anyways, cautionary tale, kids, be careful what you post. And also, like, at least Maddie, like, was smart enough. Like, yeah, he said, this could have gone wrong at so many different turns. So I
mhm.
love how his whole, like, mission was to stay out of jail. Like, he
Right?
was just
Yeah.
like, I just need to get out of this, like, alive and, like, not in jail. Like, that's all I care about.
Yeah,
And
there was definitely a point where he was like, "Shit, there are feds at my house."
yes.
Like, he's
And
like,
I'm not
"Fuck,
coming home. Like,
yeah,
so where are you coming home? Yeah,
yeah,
no.
I'm not doing that." He's like, "Nah." He's like, I would really rather not do that. Thank you." You're like, "Shit, dude!" Like, it's just crazy to me, just absolutely crazy. And yeah, I mean, you watch it and you kind of try to put yourself in his shoes, and I mean, how is this guy going to win? Like, what could he possibly have done any different as somebody that, again, was never his plan. He wasn't trying to do something to have it blow up into something bigger and create the snowball effect. This poor guy just got caught up in this thing that he had no business being caught up in.
I feel like sometimes though, I think he low key enjoyed it. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah, for sure. I think he enjoyed it. Yeah. At the end, like I'm for sure in the middle of this whole thing, he was like, I am fucked. Like at some point, he was like, dude, I'm going to jail. If one person gets shot, there's like bodies on my soul. Like there's definitely like if you were in his position, there are definitely points where you're like, dude, I don't want any part of this.
that's what I'm saying. So for me, like to come out, like at least like I come off like, 15, 20 grand, whatever from that, like, cause somebody
Something,
made
man.
money from it when
Yeah.
like from somebody made money, from that big ass party. So
My guess is that if dude doesn't want to pay the lady that they totally boned over, he probably can't claim profit from the concert because that profit would have to go to her. So like there's money that doesn't exist somewhere. Like that's part of the reason this kid got no money is because anything he would have got should go to
for her,
this woman,
good
right? So
call. And she probably still hates them both, because yeah, he did kind of betray her.
yeah.
Um, But that was funny that you said like, oh yeah, that dude has absolutely killed people. You
Shit.
were just
Yeah.
like,
He has disappeared some people at some point in his life. Like it wasn't his
yeah,
name like Paulie or something that sounded like fucking Las Vegas mobster. Like
yeah.
definitely.
But I'm glad, and I love how it was kind of messed up though. I love how as soon as like um that Paulie guy whatever showed up, the other guy's like, all
The
right,
original promoter was like, I'm
it's
bouncing. He's like, good luck. He's like, I'm taking whatever I can and I'm out. He's like, good luck.
no, good.
Yeah. That dude was not stupid. He was
No,
arguably the smartest person in the entire thing.
1,000%. Like he was just like, this is what? And he's like, what you have what? Like you have no plan? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He jumped in because of the hype and then he was like, wait. He's like, this is gonna be a colossal failure. But but man, yeah, it is a really interesting watch. Like to watch the whole documentary and see the way this thing snowballed, because like you said, it's a cautionary tale of how you can do something that's seemingly so innocent, right? Like it really was just a joke
All he had to
and
do
just
was take down the page. And that's what I was
right.
meaning by like
Yeah.
you low key like that shit, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? Like just take down the page, it's done. But you like the celebrity and you just kind of wanted to see where it could go, you
Well,
know?
and I think in his head too, he's like, if I take down the page and it's already this big, somebody else is gonna just take it over basically, and then they're gonna get all the fame. And at the end of the day, he got no fame. Like this dude does not exist, right? Like if it wasn't for this documentary,
Yeah, we would not know. Yeah.
nobody would be talking about this guy at all. Um, which I mean, in his case, is probably not the end of the world. Like he probably kind of needed that anonymity after all this.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was a messy, messy thing for sure. And he had about the best outcome that he could have
1,000%.
based
Close
on,
call.
everything that happened. Yeah.
The last thing I'll say about it is I remember feeling anxiety for him. And
Oh yeah.
I actually feel anxiety just talking about it. Like I could not imagine like the stress that he had to have been feeling during the whole situation.
Yeah, because I mean, you watch this thing and it is really easy to put yourself in his shoes and just be like, I mean, this could have been the
And I
worst.
felt the relief. I felt the relief when, Paulie, whatever his name was, took over because like now all I have to do is show up at this party, it's happening, and we're safe. And if homegirl wants to throw a party and then end up getting people shot, that's on her.
Right.
Like he just
Yeah.
split out at the end. So yeah, and it's funny how she went from like she was mad at him for like starting this whole thing to then she's like, oh yeah, I'm all in. Like, let's make some
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
She kind of switched up there too.
And then at the end, she's like, fuck them both. She's like, so I do hope, number one, I hope she makes a little money off the documentary,
Yeah.
somehow. And I hope that she gets at least some of the money from that lawsuit. Um, but I mean, at the end of the day, the people that did show up did pay, right? Like, so I feel like she probably didn't really lose money even in the main deal.
Good. That makes me happy.
I hope. I hope. I mean, I'm guessing, but just by the look of it, there was a lot of publicity from it, at least locally, right? There was tons of news people there, way too many for what actually happened. But yeah, there was a ton of news people there. Um, but yeah, it ended up being like a fun little nerd event that didn't go south at all. But there is the whole what if of this thing. Like if the wrong people had showed up, if this hadn't changed, and there was just a couple of crazies that were like, yeah, we can really do this thing. Like you can picture the Air Force, at this base being like, well, there's, 200 people crossing the border, this line that we don't want them to cross. We don't have another way to stop that many people. We got to put
And
holes in them.
yeah, yeah. And like I remember the guy said, like there could be like terrorist cells, and we don't know who's like a crazy and who's actually like an operative.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe there were some operatives who showed up, but they're like, you know what? Let's this is not the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
You can get them with a crowd, but if you're the only one trying to cross that line, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, It was wild. Like part of me is like, well, what if they all had really stormed it? Like, what could somebody have gotten far enough in to discover something? Whatever. But yeah, they were talking about how at one point people were mobbing the bus that goes into Area 51.
Yeah, that
Um,
wasn't cool.
no, and those people are innocent. And if you watch enough Area 51 like stories and documentaries, there's a lot of places that literally fly people into Area 51 for work. So there's buses that go in, but there's people that go to an airport and literally fly into Area 51 for work. And so it's like it's just a job for these people. And like I'm not going to say that there's zero alien technology at Area 51 because I don't go in there and I don't know. And they have definitely developed some interesting things in that place over the years. But the people that go in there are still just people, you know?
I just remembered something that was just kind of like weird. Clap them cheeks, clap them cheeks. I'm
Well,
clapping
yeah,
my
because it
nose.
was it was sponsored by Pornhub at one point. Like,
Oh, that's right. Yes. And all of a
it-
sudden, alien porn with everywhere. Clap them cheeks,
yeah,
clap them cheeks.
yeah.
Man, I'm just like, yo, like, man, people are weird. Like, there are some very weird people there, like, as well. So if you want to see some weird ass people, this is definitely also the documentary for you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, that's all I have for
All
the
right,
trailer.
I've got one more thing then.
Yeah.
I watched The Monkey. The Monkey came out on Hulu. It came out earlier this year in the theaters, based on a Stephen King short story. In I can't remember which set of short stories. In Skeleton Crew, I think. Um, and it stars Theo James, and I feel like there's a couple other people in it. But the gist of this story, and I would call this a horror comedy. Like it is over the top, definitely, but it was really fun. Like I actually really enjoyed The Monkey, and I can see from looking it up, there were some kind of varying reviews on it. Some people wanted to be like scarier. The basically the kills in this movie are very Final Destination-ish. Like they're a little over the top and kind of wild, and they're like the what are the like the Rube Goldberg machine of murders, right? Like stuff has to happen so that more things can happen. Um, Definitely gory, totally wild. So the gist of this story is it opens with Adam Scott from Severance.
Nice.
He is in a pawn shop with this monkey and he's just trying to get rid of it. He's like, I want to sell this thing. And the guy's like, oh, well, it's just a toy. And he's like, don't fucking call it that. He's like, do not call it a toy. He's like, this is something entirely different. And the way that it opens is he's trying to sell it to this pawn shop guy. The guy is like, no, no, no. Something happens. It triggers your first crazy murder where the dude has like an old school in his thrift shop. He's got an old school like scuba diver suit, right? Like it's the old baggy suit with the big ball helmet, and it's
Mm-hmm.
holding a harpoon gun.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're going back and forth about this thing, and the guy's like, "This thing isn't anything important. Like, why would I even want it?" And then events trigger. The harpoon gun shoots through the shop owner's stomach, and then reels itself back in and like pulls his guts out, and he dies. And so Adam Scott's like, "Fuck!" And then he looks in the corner, and in the dude's thrift shop is a flamethrower. So the last thing we see of Adam Scott, he's torching this monkey with a flamethrower. And then we jump to Theo James. We find out that he is the son of Adam Scott's character. He is a twin, and these twins are at odds. They're completely different people, like completely different. The twin that our version of Theo James is playing is the younger of the two. He was born 3 minutes earlier, and because the other one was 3 minutes older, he is a total asshole. He's the dickhole, big brother. Everything about him sucks. And so they are going through some of their father's things, and they find a box, and inside the box is this wind up monkey. And it's good size. I mean, it's like it's big. And as soon as they turn the key, people start dying. Like that's just how it goes. And so basically the rest of this movie is just like a kill fest of this monkey like jinxing people and shit going down. And so at some point in their childhood, they decide to throw the monkey down a well. And they're like, we have to stop this shit from happening. And for a while, it does stop. And then as they are adults, it starts to happen again. And at some point in his life, Theo James, the main Theo James, I forget the brothers' names. I think one was Billy and one was something else. But his our main character, he had a son, but because he feels like he's cursed by the monkey, he has basically abandoned his son. He sees his son once a year. Like he loves his son, but his way of protecting his son is to not be around him so that he can't get involved in this shit. And so ultimately, by the end of the movie, everybody's drawn back into the monkey. There are wild, crazy kills. It's over the top in every fucking way. And it has like almost like weapons, but not. It has this over the top ending that is just nuts. Like they crank the shit out of the monkey. Like it basically the entire town they're in, like people die everywhere. There's just crazy shit going on. Um, and honestly, I mean, this is a fun horror movie. It is not, I don't think it's scary. It's more shocking when things happen. Like if it's gory and there's some jump scares ish, but yeah, it's hard to really call it horror.
Uh-huh. So
But
this is by Neon. Of course it's by
yes,
Neon. So I feel like Neon is kind of like taking the place of like A24 a little bit. Uh,
yes, for sure.
yo, She-Hulk's in it? Nice.
Yes,
All
and
right.
she's really good. She plays their mom. And she has a great death scene.
So,
Like,
and James Wan produced it? Dude, this got some this there's some names behind this. Okay. And then yeah, it even says it's a dark comedy horror.
yeah, I mean, it's certainly campy.
Okay.
Like, just the stuff that happens is just ridiculous. Like, it's just kind of, it's kind of silly without necessarily being silly, silly.
Yeah,
I can see where if you are looking for like that midsummer type horror, that you would be like, this thing sucks,
sure.
right? Like, you'd be like, this is not, it's not highbrow horror at all.
Yeah,
And a lot of people were kind of pissed that it really is nothing like the short story that Stephen King wrote. Like it takes the name and that's really about it. But I don't know, take
it's
it
on
for what it's
Hulu.
worth, and it's a ton of fun.
Right? Yeah, it's on Hulu. It just joined
Yeah,
Hulu
that's where I
Library.
watched it. So it just
Yeah.
dropped on Hulu. I had wanted to see it when it was in the theater,
Hmm.
and I just didn't have the time, and didn't get out there. And so when it popped on Hulu the other day, I was like, I am watching this right this second. Like I watched it as soon as I saw it because I had been waiting for it. And for me, it's a ton of fun. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looks like so I just looked. Apparently, this is the second film by the director. Long Legs was the first one. I never saw Long Legs, but I could have
Oh, I
sworn
fucking
that
love
was
long
talked
legs.
about on the
Oh,
on this
yeah, yeah.
podcast.
I love lungs. So this Oz Perkins, the guy that directed it,
Yeah.
is the son of
Anthony Perkins.
Anthony Perkins. Yeah, yeah,
Nice
from
from
Psycho.
Psycho.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it.
Um yeah, he's a weird dude. He has a cameo in this one. Um if you're looking for psychological horror, go watch Long Legs. I loved Long Legs. That one gets a little possibly supernatural in the end. You could argue that it's not. You could argue that it is. Um but I loved Long Legs. This is completely different. Like it is a completely different thing. And I think Oz Perkins has written a couple more horror films.
Mhm.
This might be the second one that he directed, but I think he's been involved with more. Um, and he's also, I think, what movie is it where he plays like the weird friend of, is it Legally Blonde that he was in? And he plays like
Yes.
the weird
I'm actually
son
looking at it. He's been in a
friend.
lot of movies. He's been in
Yeah.
6 Degrees of Separation, Legally Blonde, Not Another Teen Movie, Star
Mhm.
Trek 2009, and Nope. So he's in a lot.
Okay.
So this guy, I like him. I like him. He
Yeah,
reminds me a little bit
he's
of.
got the credentials,
Mhm.
and I'm curious to see what he does next. Like he's making good stuff. I think he's creative and weird enough that the weird stuff that he is making works.
Yeah. No, I love this. I love this a lot.
Mhm.
No, I am legitimately intrigued by both films. So
Yeah, I definitely recommend both for different reasons. Like I said, if you want to see creepy, like psychological, weird horror, Long Legs is your jam. Like that'll scratch that itch. If you want campy, gory, fun,
I like them both.
like honestly, like the monkey, dude, I just had a good time. I think it was only an hour and 30 minutes. Like I think it was tight. Um, and again, I mean, it was fun.
The other thing I want to give props to is Longlegs had a budget of 10 million and made 128 million.
Mhm.
And this film, Monkey, also had just a $10 million budget. So contrast that with, and right now so far it's made, actually, yeah, so it made 68. So it didn't do as well as Longlegs did, but still 10 million for that. And then we just got done talking about a $65 million film that could have
It's
been
just,
made on
I
a,
feel like my kids could have made War of the Worlds and done a better job, like with no money,
yes.
you know? Like it just it sucks to go back to that movie, but
Sorry, guys. I just had to juxtapose, but no.
no,
So
but
thank you. Yeah.
it's a perfect example. Like your budget does not mean you're going to make a great movie.
Hell yeah.
And we I think we talked about it last week where Marvel has learned that there are better ways to make movies for the money, and so their budgets are actually coming down from when they were starting to skyrocket and they were losing money on films. So I think yeah, you just got to understand where to spend and how to take care of the people that are making your stuff.
Yeah.
But
So cautionary tales, my friends. Basically we started with a terrible movie. Wait.
you started
Yeah.
with a great movie. Weapons is
Weapons is a
awesome.
great movie, terrible movie, then a fun documentary, and then great movie. So it
Yeah.
was full circle.
Yeah, we went all the way around. I definitely three of the four things we talk about I definitely recommend,
Yes.
and for the fourth one we took care of it. You do not need to participate in War of the Worlds at all. It was horrendous. um but yeah, I don't have anything else. I watched a few other things. um I watched The Hunting Wives, which is on Netflix. I'm not really going to talk about it. I think it's vastly overrated for
Oh,
in almost every way that people are talking about. It's supposed to be this like steamy, like
yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
sexy show, and I wasn't impressed by any of that stuff. The acting this wasn't necessarily bad, but this was definitely a Netflix show. Like it just wasn't anything special, and I the hype around it I just didn't quite get. The I called the murder victim and the murderer in halfway through the second episode of 8. Like and I was just like, okay, and just add stuff to like throw in some red herrings, and uh, it just wasn't great. And Malin Ackerman's beautiful, Brittany Snow is beautiful. Like it's just not good.
Yeah.
I've seen better stuff everywhere. So, um, but at the same time, like maybe I'm the outlier because if you look up the reviews, I want to say it's like an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes on both sides from the critics and the audience.
Hunting wives,
Give
huh?
or take. And I think it's a 7 something on IMDb. So I mean, definitely, I think it's a your mileage may vary thing. Um,
6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, 81% Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah,
Um, but
yeah.
yeah, you're starving for celebrity boobage. I guess that's
Well, you
your
definitely get Malin Ackerman. Like, there's a lot of the reviews are like, how much does she get paid? Because like within like 30 minutes of the first episode, she shows her boobs, and then she's naked like 5 more times. Like she has sex with like 5 different people in the first 2 episodes. And then um, Brittany Snow has like a single nude scene, but you're like to me, like sure you can have people do a nude scene,
Mhm.
but that doesn't make a show sexy necessarily.
Sure.
Like there's got to be a reason behind it. Like it has to be interesting, otherwise you're just showing boobs because you could pay somebody enough to show their boobs. And she's been nude before. Malin Ackerman, she was in Watchmen. She had a nude scene in that.
Oh, that's what
So
I was trying to remember who she is. So she was, yeah, she was Silk Spectre. Thank you.
yeah, yeah,
At first I
she's
thought she was in what's it called? Terminator, but that was somebody else.
that
Like
was
at
somebody
Terminator
else.
3, the blonde. All right,
But
cool.
she's a good actress, and she's been in some stuff, and she's very very pretty. Um, and I've always liked Brittany Snow. I like her more in comedy, I think, than this necessarily. But
Mm.
the performances weren't bad. It was just it felt really cliched in a lot of ways, and I think we're watching this thing where Netflix is making shows that are your steamy romantic dramas. You've got Bridgerton and you've got these other things that are, sex sells kind of shows. And
Mhm.
I don't think they're necessarily doing a great job with them. I don't think they're making great shows. I think we're still seeing the best television, the best movies come from Apple TV is doing the best TV shows. And I think HBO is making some of the better shows still. But I don't feel like Netflix is actually doing anything really great these days. They're just pumping stuff out, like just pumping and pumping and pumping. I think Hulu and Disney Plus are in a good position because they're letting everybody else make the content. And they're just putting it up there. Oh, good. There's my thumbs up again. Super. And they're doing that, and then Prime is somewhere in the middle. Like they're not really making great television, but like Reacher's okay. Some of the shows that they've made are okay. Um, but the best stuff I feel like is right now is Apple TV and HBO.
Yeah, I will say for Prime though, I mean, I'm still so behind on what's it called, Invincible, and
Hmm.
I know that The Boys new season I think
Yes,
is.
that comes back soon. The final season, and
Mhm.
then V2 or Gen V, sorry, is coming back pretty soon too. And they're working on a prequel series
Oh, excellent.
around Soldier Boy and a couple other characters.
I wonder if
So
Stormfront will show up. I wonder.
I feel like she has to. But yeah, that show, they're going to end the boys, but not necessarily end the universe. So there will be other stories told. So the world is not dead yet. So
Did you hear that they're gonna merge, like Hulu might be going away?
Hulu is going away at this
Yeah,
point. I think
yeah,
2026. They're saying it's just going to become Disney Plus,
yeah.
um, which is great for me because I think I have a subscription to both. So it'll be nice to
Same.
just tighten that up.
Do you think that's what they're
Uh,
gonna do? Like, do you think they're or just gonna like double charge it? Like, I don't know. I don't see them like just you know.
I'm curious because if you go to Disney Plus, a lot of things that are on Hulu are just there.
Oh, that's right.
But
Yeah,
I think there's still a like it seems to me when I was on Disney Plus the other day, there was a section that said, on Hulu, and then you could see the stuff that was on Hulu, but you weren't necessarily seeing everything that was on Hulu. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think the price will go up, but
yeah.
it might kind of meet in the middle of both services, so you're not necessarily paying double, but you don't have a choice but to pay more.
I'm probably one of the only people on the planet who feels this way, but like I'll be a little sad. Like Hulu was to me like outside of Netflix was actually before Netflix even. Hulu
Yeah,
was the first
yeah,
kind of thing that the first streamer. And I like the whole green and the whatever. But yeah.
yeah. I remember back before everything was totally blown up. It was Hulu and Netflix, and I had cable, and I was like, I am only using Hulu and Netflix. So I canceled. I called Comcast, and I was like, I'm going to cancel. I just need internet. And they're like, well, we can give you this package, blah blah blah, and it'll cost you this much. And I was like, no, thank you. And they're like, well, what do we have to do to get you to stay? And I was like, can you give me everything I want for $30 a month? I was like, because that's what I'm paying for Netflix and Hulu. I was less than that. It was like $20 a month at the time. And I was like, can you give me everything I want for $20? They're like, no, that's impossible. And I was like, cool, then I will cancel. And they're like, but can we do anything? And I was like, give me what I want for $20 or I'm out. And like, I was one of the first people that I knew to cut that cord
Yeah.
because I was like, the things that I have are here. And I had been trained for a while because I had one of the earlier models of TiVo. I had
Oh,
a early like big fat fucking TiVo. But that thing, when I figured out that thing and was recording TV and watching it on my own time, I was like, this is the future, man. And streaming took advantage of that and said, we're just going to put everything up here. Like I never understood why, if you were ABC, why early on you weren't just like, yeah, go stream our stuff. We'll throw commercials in here. We'll make it easy for you to get to. We'll still get paid from all our advertisers and you can just watch. Like I didn't understand why more people didn't jump on it sooner. And then, Hulu had the brilliant idea that I paid for, where they're like, you can pay $5 more a month and you never have to watch a commercial. And I was like, fuck
I
yes.
bet.
Yeah. I was like, I haven't watched a commercial on Hulu in 10 years.
God knows. Wow.
Like, yeah. And like the second that no commercial plan was up, I was like, take my money. I hate commercials, man. But I also never understood too, like why as a streamer, why you didn't have little advertisements run across the bottom on like a ticker or something, like something that like you could make more money off of people, just having shit out there. Peacock does it pretty well. They sneak in a commercial. I think is it I think it's Peacock. If you pause Peacock, it
Yes.
brings up an
And
advertisement.
yeah,
And I was like, that's brilliant.
yeah.
That's brilliant. I mean, they still have too many commercials, but if you pause, you get a little advertisement. They get a little money out of you pausing the show. So yeah, streaming's come a long way. And um, I think for when I got cable here, I finally canceled Comcast a little while ago and God damn it. I got DirecTV um for my mom and I'll watch it sometimes, but I don't even go to DirecTV. I've got all the channels and everything and I don't. Like I spend all my time on the
Streaming.
streamers.
Same. And again, you didn't ask for this, but like I remember because, whatever, I'll just be real. Like I definitely went through a little bit of hardship, financially, back in
Hmm.
like 2008, 2009. So between 2009 and probably 2012, like I didn't even have a TV. And then 2012, like yeah, I just never went back to cable. I just started with like I had Roku and
Yep.
that was basically it. And before I remember now. Oh, I feel like terrible. Like, yeah, I'm a TV. What's wrong with you? But no, I watch everything on my computer. Like
Hmm.
why have a TV if you can just like stream it on your computer, So that's what I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Roku brought me back to like an actual like TV, flat screen TV. It was
Hmm.
tiny. But yeah, so that's what I mean. I remember watching like Smallville on Hulu. Like because if I missed the Smallville, Hulu was hosting it. So I just watch it
Yep.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the way to go. Like it was what changed the world. So, I think cable is struggling right now. Cable has gotten a lot cheaper. Like I think for DirecTV for everything that I get from them, I pay not much month. I don't pay very much. I think I pay more for my internet because Frontier came in to where I'm at. So now I get gig speed internet for less than I was paying for Comcast for 200 megs or something like that. That was another one. Comcast was like, "Well, what can we do?" And I was like, "Well, can you match this thing?" And they're like, "For the money." And they're like, "Well, no." And then I'm like, "Well, buy." If you can't do the thing that these other people can do, I don't need you. And they'll figure it out. And then somebody will beat them again. I think I just saw a commercial for Comcast where they're like, "We'll lock in your price for 5 years." And I'm like, that's like you're seeing desperation from these companies because there's so much competition now and so many ways to get things to people. Like I think Comcast, because they're so invested in the cable side of their business, when people aren't paying for cable, they got to make their money somewhere and they got to get people into long-term contracts.
And you know who owns Universal?
Is it Comcast owns
It's
Universal?
fucking Comcast. So Comcast, you are behind the worst movie of the year. So that's why I'm actually gonna make never done this on the APNC before. It's only cranberry juice, but I'm gonna make a toast to Hulu. We will miss you because you were legitimately forerunners of the streaming era.
For
And
sure.
selfishly, you guys were my portal to Attack on Titan when Funimation was just that app was not working properly. So, unless you want to say something in their honor, I just want to say, Hulu, you are awesome. We love you, and we will always remember you.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Yeah. So cool. Well, with that, going at it with a bang. I will say thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.